So in today's video, we'll be talking about the upcoming version for Genshin, which is version 3.4, if I'm not mistaken. I so in version 3.4 of Genshin, there are multiple events, of course, and there are of course new characters. So I believe most people pay more attention to the character banners instead of the events. Most people will do that. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the first half of Genshin version 3.4 banner. Right. So in version 3.4 first half, we are going to have two characters coming in, two limited 5 stars, which is our item and as well as Xiao. So Xiao, I believe you already knew the Yaksha, which is animal poem in the year. So in this video, I'll be specifically talking about our item. So in our item, if for those who haven't know, you can watch my previous video on my channel, which is the our item beta analysis, if you want to know more about our item. So our item is actually coming. So yeah, he's a 5-star Dendro sword as usual. So for those who are pulling for these two, I will, yeah, I have nothing to say. Like Xiao is a really good DPS, and our item is actually a really good DPS, but he still have more potential yet to be discovered. So another video will probably be made when he is actually released. Yeah. So besides talking about character banner, there is another thing you all might pay attention to, which is actually the weapon banner. So for the weapon banner, it's actually, should I say, quite risky? Is risky the word? I'm not that sure. Since like the weapon is actually very risky, like for item, you have the signature weapon, and for Xiao, you have the signature weapon of, like, of course. So for Xiao's weapon, I believe most people already know, which is the Primordial Jade Wing Spear. Exists in the permanent banner also. I mean, standard banner. It's always there. Right. So for item, he have a limited 5-star weapon, which is called like a Foliar Incision. So that weapon is his signature and has a low base attack, same as the Primordial Jade Cutter, which is 542. And for crit damage, that weapon gives a ton of crit damage, like 88.2. Right. So a lot of people have been arguing about like this weapon banner is actually not that good. Like, so in my personal opinion, this weapon banner is not that good. Like, honestly, brutally honest, this weapon is not that good. Like, as Primordial Jade Wing Spear, it's not that like worth as it used to be anymore since after Homa's release, like Staff of Homa, which is Hu Tao's signature. So Primordial Jade Wing Spear is actually not that worth anymore. I mean, it's still worth, but not as worth as the other optional weapons that you can give Xiao. Like, for example, Calamity Queller, which is Shenhe's signature. You can have Staff of Homa, which is Hu Tao's signature. Or you can have Vortex Vanquisher, which is actually Zhongli's signature, where you can pair on specific teams. So like there are so much other options compared to Primordial Jade Wing Spear. So, and for item, like, so for our item, a lot of people have been saying like his weapon is actually cracked. Like, look at the 88.2% crit damage. Alright, so let me like explain about the weapon passive now. So what does the weapon passive do is at refinement rank 1, the crit rate is increased by 4%, and when normal attack deals elemental damage, you will obtain an effect called Foliar Incision. Right, so it increased damage dealt by normal attacks and elemental skills by 120% of elemental mastery. Right. And the effect will disappear after 28%, 28 damage instances or 12 seconds. Means after proccing damage for 28 times, you will lose the effect. And this effect will only be obtainable every 12 seconds. So, in my personal opinion, it is good. Like, it gives you a ton of crit damage, and also allows you to like stack some EM for in exchange of attack. So it means that he can be open to more like team options, like for example a Virgin, no wait, a Bloom team or a spread team or something, right? But the downside, the really heavy downside of this weapon that nobody realizes is you need to actually really care about the crit rate, which is so much harder to stack than crit damage. So let me just give you a short word, right? What is the point of crit damage when you can't crit? I mean, the effect is obvious. Like, if for example, if you have 200 crit damage and you can't crit, like you will just lose the whole crit damage stats. So what's the point? There's no point in crit damage anymore since you don't even proc. That's how Kokomi works. Everyone just stack HP and attack. Nobody cares about crit anymore. Like, so for his weapon, I mean, if you manage to balance the crit rate, which needs up to like 50 or 60 something percentage, which is actually really good, then you can consider getting this weapon. But if you can't balance his crit rate up to like 50 or 60 something, then I suggest you just give him some else weapon and just give him a crit damage circlet. Like you can give him the Harangebaku Futsu, which is Ayato's signature. You can probably use it too. Or you can give him the Primordial Cutter. I mean, it also works. So for my opinion on this weapon banner is if you really like our item, you want to perfect him, you can literally just try to get one of his signature weapon. If you really don't, I suggest you to skip this weapon banner, as you have a more OP weapon banner on the second half, which is Hu Tao's banner as well as Yelan's. Yes, in version 3.4, we are going to have 4 banners, 2 in first half and 2 in second half. Like, so the second half weapon is OP because Yelan and Hu Tao is running, means that they two will have their signature weapon together, which is Aqua Simulacra as well as Staff of Oma. So with these two weapons together, the second half weapon banner value is so much more higher than the one in the first half. So let's just say my rating for both of the weapon banners. For the first half, I'll give like a 4 or 5 over 10. Right. But for second half, I'll give an 8 or a 9.5 over 10. Because the weapon banner is just so valuable more than the one in the first half. So for those who are trying to bet or trying to get a 5-star weapon, hold back your primos, right? You can either choose to pull on the current banner, or you can choose to pull for the one in the second half in version 3.4. Right. So in the weapon in first half for 3.4, it's not that worth. Right? Trust me, bet. Okay, don't waste your primos there. I know it's not actually not worth it. I stack it to like 50 something and I still don't dare to pull until now. I'm saving till version 3.4 second half. Right? So yeah. And also for characters, so 3.4 second half, as said, we have Hu Tao and Yelan. So for Hu Tao, I should say she's still one of the top of the list for DPS. Even after Dendro came out, she still managed to pair with a lot of teams like Virgin Hu Tao or just multiple teams, right? And for Yelan, it's also worth, right? So for Yelan, she is actually good due to 2 points. So she is Hydro and she skills on HP. Another one is her talents allows her to boost characters on-field damage when the on-field character stays longer on the field, until the ulti ends. So there are downsides of Yelan also compared to Xingqiu. So there are 2 things when you run Yelan. So first is obviously the ER problem, which means the recharge problem. You might not get your ulti 24/7 for those who want to greed damage more. But of course, for those who just care about they want to cycle and obtain the damage buff, yes, you probably won't have this problem. Another one is her Hydra application is not as strong as the one as Xingqiu did, right? Because yeah, Xingqiu existed for a reason for so long, right? So yeah, So for my opinion here is for the second half, which is Hu Tao and Yelan. So for Hu Tao, um you can try to get one if you have. So for those who have future plans and you have a Yoimiya, you can consider saving for Hu Tao for a bit. And for those want to pull Yelan, I will suggest you to get just C0 is enough. Alright, so C0 Yelan, if you don't have a C6 issue, right, so you can open up more options as you have more like hydro off field, like to cover up the team comps, right? For example, my account I'm actually quite restricted because I don't have a Yelan. I only have a Xingqiu. That's actually how restricted my account is, because most of the team you need a hydro off field, right? So I think that's technically all. Am I right? Yeah. Oh yeah, and for the weapon, so the weapon, as I said just now, is Staff of Homa along with Aqua Simulacra. So for Staff of Homa, if you don't know their weapon, is Hu Tao signature. Gives like 608 base attack along with like 66.2% of crit damage, or 62.2, I forgot. So that weapon is actually quite cracked, I should say, as it gives a ton of crit damage. The crit damage stats is enough to cover up an artifact. So for those who are like who have a shell but don't have a signature weapon, or you have a Hu Tao but don't have a signature weapon, you can consider getting a Homa first. Alright, try to get a Homa. If you can't, then it's fine. Right, make sure you have the amount of primos you can get for a Homa before you get like don't just try to win the 50-50, right? You know, winning 50-50 on weapon banner is fucking ridiculous, and a lot of people are lost on it and crying on the floor and smashing their laptops or their PCs. So better don't, right? So for Aqua Simulacra, so in case if you don't know, their weapon has a low base attack but a really high crit damage. So there's Yelan's signature weapon, but for those who got it by accident and you don't have a Yelan, so what you can do is you can give it to some of your other bow characters, like for more DPS, I guess. Like, so that's my opinions for version 3.4 banners. Yeah, for character and weapon banners. So yeah, that's all I want to say. So I really hope this video helps you all like to plan better on which weapon you should rather actually pull. Right. So yeah, that's all. And thank you for watching this video. My name is Fahid. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.